Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver and welcome back to the Haru arc. Today I have been plagued, okay? I have been plagued with one thing and one thing only. No thoughts except for this one head is full of this particular thought. So, for those of you who don't know, recently there was a Ukrainian charity bundle that the, wargaming community came up with, and it was actually really cool. It was kind of like, some of you might be familiar with the Itch.io bundle, that's like, you pay $10 and get like 1,000 games, that sort of thing. Well, it was basically that, but it's like you pay $50 to $85 to get more 3D printing files than you would ever actually be able to 3D print in your lifetime. And it was super successful, and I donated to it as well because it seemed like a good cause. It was like a food charity, which is something that I'm like always down for. Because I like food. That's where that ends. I don't really want to get into the social, political things of what's actually happening in the world right now. That doesn't sound like it's in the purview of a World of Horror episode. I donated to it, and the rollout method of how they actually delivered the files was so confusing. And, like, of course, you don't really want to be that guy who's like, I know this is a charity, but what about me? But it was really confusing, because, like, obviously they're giving you, like, a gazillion 3D printing files, and it's not like they can just send that out in an email. And so they put it on, like, hello, dog, my dog's running around over there. But they put it on, like, 8 million... Well, it's like 8 million different files from 8 million different creators. So they did it on the, the Mini Factory website. And if you missed the Kickstarter and you're interested in it, it's still going on in the My Mini Factory thing. You can still buy the set. And you can also buy add-ons. And Kickstarter, people get discounts on the add-ons. But, it's so weird. It's like, my dog's just chilling, and then literally the moment the recording starts, she's just like, I'm gonna run around now. But hey, you know what? That's her purview. She's allowed to do that. She's allowed I mean, she's digging into the blanket. I don't really care about that. But, the blanket can take it. Anyways, what are we doing? I don't know. We're playing World of Horror, I guess. Herald of the God? Herald of the Court? Herald of the Crimson Court? What am I even talking about? I don't know. But the thing I've been thinking about is, so they were delivering it through this website that I actually knew about, because I was looking at some models on it the other night, before they delivered it. Like, before they delivered the redeem email. But then there was stuff about, like, you have credits, you have add-ons, and it's just like Steam started coming out of my ears, and it's like I'm gonna wait until people in the Kickstarter comments finish parsing this out, because it's like I got nothing. Like I don't want to think about this at 3 in the morning. But yeah, no, I think it's I think it was a great bundle though. But the thing is, I don't have a 3D printer, and I still got the bundle. Because I want to get a 3D printer eventually, and, I also want to kill Takashi, remember my second mystery, pass the charisma check, pass the light source check, pass the strength check, and pass the knowledge. Although I suppose it's more of a threshold, because it's 8 or more, and you're guaranteed to get it, but, so everything but dexterity, and a light source in your second mystery. So this is Knight Errant, do remember that, so we have to get ending A's all around. Still not gonna bother on a potential Akamanto for sure. But, anyways, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk more about 3D printers while I set this run up. So the problem that I have is that, oh, we threw it in the trash the moment we saw Third Eye. Haru, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, Haru. That's a totally understandable reaction to seeing Third Eye. Although, maybe that could help us out past the knowledge check, maybe. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm probably gonna forget it. Like, I mean, literally forget the spell. I guess that doesn't work either, because I could be talking about IRL or in-game. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm probably not gonna do it, but I'm just throwing it out there as an option because it's worth keeping on the table. Now let's see how hell this is gonna be. So this is guaranteed, basically. Like, we're not gonna mess this one up. I'm gonna look at that one last, because it has TV Terror as its fill. You love to see Kana. Botany is basically impossible. Yeah, Botany is impossible. Wordless Ward is getting skipped. 100% Wordless Ward is getting skipped. Now, this does have a knowledge weapon, but that knowledge weapon costs Doom to use. So I think what we'll do... is we'll start with Kana, and then we'll probably go into, like, Botany, and then, I don't know, we'll figure it out along the way. Botany is gonna be pretty bad. Thank God we can skip Wordless Ward. That's highly nice. What weapon do I want to use? Like, it might seem a little bit weird, but without having Timeline B here to give us the good thing, I'm almost just kind of thinking, like, maybe we should, like, I usually want to go for the Monkey Wrench, but I don't know if I want to go for the Monkey Wrench here, because that's 2 points of strength instead of 1 point of strength. We could try to go for... There's no dexterity, so there's no way in hell I'm going to try to use bricks the whole run. But then that really just leaves knowledge, and I don't want to use a knowledge weapon. But heavy-duty flashlight would solve a part of the lighthouse. Let's go. Let's try it. We're gonna have Kana. We're gonna have Kana, and yes, I do realize that that there was just hopefully you didn't hear that. You probably did. But we'll go ahead and try Kana first. If it was like a really faint sound in the background, that was a alarm on my phone in case I hadn't woken up by this point. It's sort of like the emergency get out of bed, you slept in way too late alarm that I'm too paranoid to ever disable, so I just hear it every day. But I don't usually record this early, so it's probably the first time this has happened. But anyways, yeah, we'll go into eels. But back to the 3D printing story, right? So, it's not a story, it's just my general concerns. So the thing is, like, resin 3D printing is getting huge for wargaming right now. Like, everybody is talking about it. The resin 3D printers are becoming cheaper, they're becoming more accessible. And the thing that I'm worried about, okay, is that... Yo, let's go. The thing that I'm worried about is... yeah, we'll go to the seaside once real quick. I was kind of considering getting a compass, but we definitely want to get a second pack of Smonks when applicable. Which is right now. Because we can also get... Okay, throw the inspiring novel in here. Probably... Actually, give me another brick, yeah. I'll go up to 10%. If I don't have to go up to 10%, I won't. Thank you, game. I'll take that 2% and I'll use it wisely. Ooh. I'm actually trying to think, is there any way that I can get more Smonks without having to get cursed again? Because I definitely want to save some stamina regeneration. Ooh, don't mind if I do! Don't mind if I freaking do. What the hell? That's beautiful. But, I'm also realizing that I don't think that shop has ever changed. Like, I think it is just those 4 items. I don't even think you can get foreign cigarettes there. But, that's a shame. Taking the damage, not being able to get foreign cigarettes, because foreign cigarettes are more expensive. I almost clicked a bad button. Really don't want to get something truly evil right off the bat. That would be pretty bad. But, I almost want to rest. I know Kana is currently, like, dying, but, you know, sometimes you just gotta... You gotta take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. Okay, so, I mean, theoretically, and by that I mean we can kill her in one turn. We have the technology. We even have another brick, by the way, in our back pocket. We also just have... I almost clicked escape, which would have been so bad. We also have 3 packets of cigarettes, if we just want to, like, steamroll through the rest of the game now, because we have a couple of short mysteries. I think that's probably what we'll actually just do right now. Stores closed, price hike. Oh boy, I'm so glad that we managed to get, how many cigarettes? I literally think we will have enough cigarettes for the entire game. I think we got so incredibly lucky. Like, I genuinely believe we got so incredibly lucky. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's absolutely insane. But, okay, so 1 mystery and 1 enemy down. So whatever we click next, we're gonna have to pay attention to. We'll do botany. So botany, second mystery, and who's second enemy? I don't know. But, so the thing about 3D printers, right, because, like, yeah, everybody's talking about them, is that 3D printers, well, I mean, it's a resin 3D printer, right? If you know anything about resin, you might be a little bit concerned, because resin is an incredibly toxic and dangerous substance, right? Like, uncured, like, raw, quote-unquote, well, uncured resin is probably the more technical term. Like, uncured resin literally is, like, you know, it will burn your skin. Like, it contaminates everything it gets on and basically turns it into trash. It burns skin. Uncured resin is insanely dangerous, right? It's very important to underscore how dangerous it's very important to not underscore, thank you, how, oh my god, mind wipe again. OMG, mind wipe? Here? But it's very important to kind of figure out how dangerous it is, because it is super dangerous. And, like, the problem with it is that a lot of people are buying it, and then they're just like, oh, teehee, you know, they don't really know how dangerous it is. And, like, I saw a guy do a safety video for how to use a resin printer, and he was in a short-sleeved shirt, and he was in, like, cargo shorts. So he just had, like, all of his legs exposed and all of his arms exposed, and he just had these, like, gloves that went up to, like, a little bit past his wrist, I'm pretty sure. And he's just, like, holding, like, the resin scraper over his, he's, like, holding the resin scraper over his, whatchamacallit, like, his, like, he's crouched down on the garage floor or whatever, and he's just holding the resin, like, he's holding a contaminated piece of material over his, like, exposed legs. And I'm like, that's how you get, like, severe burns. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. And also, it was a terrible mystery, by the way. Absolutely horrible. And it's gonna get a lot worse in a moment. But our sanity is in danger. TM. But yeah, no, it's just so crazy, because it's like, uncured resin is not only, like, you know, it contaminates every material that comes in contact with it to the point where that material becomes trash. Like, if you have something that you can recycle and you get uncured resin on it, then you can't recycle that thing anymore. Right, so, and there's also a lot of waste in resin as well. Like, a big problem. I'm gonna take sanity here. Do I take the sanity challenge? Log off? No, we're gonna take knowledge. And the reason why we're gonna do that is we're going into Fear Festival, so we can rest. We can rest as a treat. I muted my mic and then I sneezed, so we'll see if that worked or not. It's really weird, because, like, whenever you talk, like, the green bar goes up, and when I sneeze, the yellow bar went up.
Oh, sorry. Suddenly, somewhere, Emmerdale seems to have disappeared. We'll go back to it as soon as we can, once we've found it.
Emmerdale, brought to you by a dog barking loudly. Welcome back. We're talking about the dangers of resin 3D printing. But yeah, I kind of lost the flow or the mojo of the conversation. Admittedly, we're going into Fear Festival, that's for sure. What was our second enemy? What was our second mystery? There's no way it was just Shiro. It was just Shiro-san. Right. It was Shiro-san and, Shiro-san and Botany. Name a more iconic duo. Haru and Smonks. Ah, shit. No, not 4%, not 4% Doom for Yoichi, absolutely not. But like, let me, like, I don't even really understand the full extent to how to properly take care of 3D resin. But from how I, like... Okay, we should be able to do something like this. Yeah, it's $1. We can afford to miss that. But basically, like, how I understand it is... Ooh, absolutely. I'll take plus 4% Doom for Ryoko. That might make us lose the run, but do I care? Absolutely not. Because Ryoko is fun. Yeah, I'll go here, just because it doesn't cost Doom. But, what was I gonna say? So, like, how I believe, okay, how I believe it's done. Do not try this at home, because obviously I don't know. But, we tripped on a branch. Don't trip on a branch while you're handling uncured resin. That would end badly for all of you. But basically, we do 98% gaming as a treat. But essentially, when you have, like, you have a byproduct of resin, because basically you have this, not really a tub, but like a basin, but you have like this little dish that you pour resin into, and then the plate goes down, and then it cures the resin based on your design, and then it lifts it up, right? And so it will slowly lift it up layer by layer by layer until you have what you need or want, right? Like, I don't, unless the printing goes wrong, in which case you won't get what you want, and you just have to try it again. But you will always have like a byproduct or a waste of resin. And so one of the things that happen is that, first of all, you can't put uncured resin down your drain, right? You can't do that. You can't put it down your drain, and you can't actually dispose of it. So what you have to do with anything that is contaminated with uncured resin, you have to basically either put it in some sort of ultraviolet thing, or is that what it is? Ultraviolet? Like ultraviolet light, UVs? You have to do that so that... That's kind of sketchy, by the way, doing knowledge. Even, especially because we just got fetid fumes. Our reason is going to be a problem. But, like, when you... Like, basically, you have to cure the resin in order to be able to deal with it, if that makes sense. Do I want to do school? Yeah, yeah, school scissors is short. That should be fine. So you have to... You basically, in order to deal with the resin, you have to get it cured. And we're just using that right now because it doesn't really matter. Like, there's no mystery where we need to use it on, because our combat is just ridiculously broken right now. But yeah, so, like, I'm trying to describe it in a way like, basically view uncured resin as hazardous material that you can't dispose of. But cured resin can just be thrown in the trash, right? So, whenever you get something contaminated with uncured resin, you have to either hit it with an ultraviolet light or leave it in the sun until it's cured. And if you do that, like, when the resin is cured, it's completely safe, right? Like, when the resin is cured, it's completely safe. You don't have to worry about it at all. You know, cured resin, to my knowledge, is completely fine. But uncured resin is the devil. It's the demon, and it's way more dangerous than people probably make it out to be. And maybe I'm making it out to be, like, maybe I'm over-exaggerating it a little bit, but considering that a lot of the tutorials out there are under-exaggerating things, I think what I'm doing is perfectly fine. Because it's more... Yo, my boy, he's finally here! Everybody say hello to the dude. Hello, dog. Hello, dog, again. It's like, I'm giving I'm giving the lad on the doorway more attention. My dogs like pay attention to me. I'm sorry. I will rectify my mistake. You are getting adequate amounts of pets right now while we're gaming. Shouldn't risk that again. I shouldn't risk seeing my friend again. How dare you? Let me in. Let me in. Let me open the door. Anyways, doesn't really matter. We want to fail this because we already have cursed signs, so who cares? Friend's diary, a dude lying down on a box. There we go. But, yeah, no, resin bad. And here's the thing, I know all of this, and I still want to get into 3D resin printing, right? Like, that might be the most insane thing, is that, like, it's dangerous, it's horrible, but yet I still want to get into it. And I think that the thing is, the thing that's stopping me from doing it is I want to be able to set it up safely. And there's not a lot of people online who are taking it as seriously as I would like it to be taken. And so it's like I'm trying to think of a way that I could make it safe when I don't really understand the maybe base chemical components, if that makes sense. So, I mean, there is a Goobertown Hobbies video that might make me understand the, I don't need any of these at all. These are all bad. Actually, no. Quick thinking could potentially do something. We'll take, knowledge. And if I see leadership or, if I see leadership, I'll go for charisma, but if not, I'm going for the strength level up. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, TV terror, because here's the thing, if we use the inspiring novel on, Wordless Ward, we could kill the guy, but I think it's still not really worth it. Like, the boss fight is probably, like, the boss fight is bad, but it's more like the cherry on top, if that makes sense. This is gonna do... not enough. That is gonna do also not enough. So we will brace for impact and attack twice. He's weak! Wait, was he weak? Hold on. No, he's not. I just saw the extra line of text there, and I'm like, he's weak to blunt? What the hell? How did I never notice this? But no, that was just, brace for impact. Fight the feeling. We'll get a free curse as a treat, because I don't want to invite that much doom into my life. But yeah, like, I'm trying to find out if 3D resin printers are safe to, like, use. Because, like, they all say they're safe, right? Because they don't want to say that they're dangerous. But, you know, like, I want to see if they're safe, and I want to, like, I want to know if they're safe. Oh, Jesus. What are you doing to my face? It's ruined! Well, if we miss every attack, then your face won't be ruined. That's just the truth of the matter. Uh-oh. Did somebody say, chance to die? Actually, hold on. No, it's technically not a chance to die. We would live, but I really don't want to miss. We would go down to 1. Which does not sound... That does not spark joy. But, like, yeah, I'm basically wondering how... Probably didn't even need to do that. That's probably overkill. It means that we could misclick here, though, and not feel bad. Not that I did that or anything. But, actually, are we kind of screwed? Because we're gonna take -3, right? Okay, so that's not good enough, so we'll just brace for impact and then kill him next turn. Should be able to do both of these? I feel like we could do both of these. I feel like I could glitch the game to do both of these. Alright, fine. He does sound like Minecraft Steve. It is true. There we go, we're good. Heart of Darkness, Freaky Flood. So whatever is down there is gonna be a thing, but it's alright. We should be completely fine. We are going in with, we're gonna lose the strength check, which is actually one of the last things. We might actually be able to level up again, which is really funny. Also, knowledge was the sixth thing, so if we didn't get Heart of Darkness, that 8 knowledge would do literally nothing, which is so, it would be so sad. We should be completely fine. Nothing personnel, kid. Is this gonna kill him? I don't know, I don't really care. Because he's only doing 2% Doom, and we've got 30 to mess around with. It was Botany. Oh my god, I clicked out of that box and it still worked. I hate that so much. We're not gonna level up before the strength check, unfortunately. It's gonna be right here. No, you piece! But hey, at least we have this. If we had the compass, we would have gotten to level 6, which is pretty cool. Maybe even level 7. I don't know about that, though. That sounds a little ambitious, but, yeah, to kind of cap off the discussion, like, 3D printing is really cool. I just need to make sure that before like, the 3D printer that I get, it needs to be, you know, one with, like, a HEPA filter, like, maybe, like, I don't know if double filters work, but, like, a charcoal filter and a HEPA filter, or if those are the same thing. Listen, I'm kind of ignorant on that front. I need to not be ignorant on that front. I need to buy one that's safe, and then I need to also figure out a place, like, which place is the safest spot to hook it up. Like, do I want it near an open window, but the temperature is a super important thing, like even a couple of degrees off, or, you know, and it'll mess up the print, so do I want it to be in an enclosed space, but then that's bad for, you know, that's bad for, like, the VOCs and all that. The volatile organic compound, I've been doing at least some research on it, I know what those are. And then I also need to make sure that the resin that I get is as safe as possible, because there are different kinds of resins, and some resins are safer than others. I did hear about, but I couldn't find it for sale. There was, like, some eco resin that apparently didn't give off any VOCs, but I still don't know anything about that. But I would love, here's the thing, it's not just because I spent $85 on a 3D printing bundle, but, like, I would just love to try 3D printing. Like, it looks so cool to be able to 3D print your own models, and the whole, like, being able to, like, create a 3D model and then have it printed is just such an interesting and fascinating idea to me. But still, like, I just need to make sure that it's as safe as possible. And if I figure out how to do it all safely, like, just have 8 million, like, you'd have to have some sort of, like, workstation as well that, is disposable, right? Like, you get this crappy, like, as cheap as possible plastic table, and then you cover that plastic table in unlimited, like, cardboard bags, or, like, you know, like, paper bags, I should say. Paper bags, that's what those are. You just cover them all in paper bags, or, like, shrink wrap or something, to make sure that if the resin falls out, you can just easily dispose of, that resin-contaminated material, and by that I mean just put it in the sun for it to cure, and then throw it in the trash. And then you have, like, a wash basin and clean tools and contaminated tools. So you use the contaminated tools first to get all the uncured resin off, and then you use the clean tools to handle the cured resin. Some crazy shit like that. And I don't know, that just, like, that sounds like a lot, you know? And it sounds like something that you have to actually, like, work towards actively figuring out how to use, in comparison to just doing it, right? Because people are like, oh yeah, just buy a 3D resin printer, set it down on the kitchen counter, and then, you know, just perish. Just keel over and die. You know, I'm sure it's a lot safer than that. Like, the modern printers probably have a lot of built-in safety features because they are commercial things, and everything that I kind of just put on the table there is completely unreasonable for a hobbyist or enthusiast to, like, do. Or a casual enthusiast, or just like a general enthusiast even. Like, only psychos would actually do what I'm just laying out of, like, having a proper, clean workstation. But, yeah, no, I'm just trying to think of ways that it can be safely done, and I'm gonna try to find, like... Because here's the thing, whenever you search up 3D printing, you just have, like, a bunch of people who are in, like, their bedroom, and they have their 3D printer going on, and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, it's a little bit, smelly, in here, but it's not that bad. And it's like, brother, you might be breathing in harmful chemicals while you're recording this video. That's a little bit sus. And then you find somebody with like 600 views on YouTube, and they're like a scientist person. And like, so here's the chemical. So here's how a HEPA filter captures microplastic. I don't know. I'm not a nerd, but and I also don't have 600 views. So there we go. I'm not qualified to make those kinds of videos. Because I'm missing two out of the two prerequisites. But you know, it's like you find somebody who's like virtually unknown, unheard of, who's giving you the scientific information on how to be safe, and then you're just like, oh man, I really should be paying attention to this, but I just must, you know, it's not them, it's just my terrible attention span for things that I should be interested in, but have to force myself to be interested in. Because it's like, you know, like, what I'm interested in is 3D printing. What I have to be interested in is 3D printing safety, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to be interested in 3D printing safety, but since it's a dangerous activity to do, you need to care about it. And for me, when it comes to hobby stuff, there's a very important distinction between a need and a want. Like, when I want to do a hobby thing, I do it. When I need to do a hobby thing, I'm like, oh, well, you know, I could do literally anything else right now. Right? It's that sort of barrier to entry thing that people talk about a lot. It's like, if there's a barrier to entry, a casual person, I'm calling myself a casual here, right? Like, I want to be as close to a casual 3D printer as possible, right? Like, I want to put the least amount of effort in for mediocre results, right? Because I like the idea and I want to try it, but I don't want to put the effort in, if that makes sense. But it's like, you know, I want to be a 3D printing casual, but the thing is, because, you know, volatile chemical compounds, or like, organic compounds are involved, you know, it's like, you do need to care, and you do need to think about it. It's not something you can do willy-nilly, because, you know, that could potentially have bad side effects. I could rant about this all day, and I kind of have been, so sorry. Banter Engine is now the 3D printing engine, and it's fueled by resin. But yeah, it's just kind of like, it's just kind of weird, right? Because it's like, it's something that is trying to become a consumer-grade product, but the safety feature, but the safety concerns and the current safety features are not enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna be a consumer, right? Like, I feel like I actually have to study this, I have to learn this, I have to figure out how to do it, I have to set up a station for it, and I have to figure out the safest possible way to do it. But it definitely does, like, 3D printing itself is really cool. Like, I always thought it was really cool, and I'd love to be able to do it now that's cheap. Like, you can get an amazing resin 3D printer for like $300, $200. And you can get budget ones that are actually, like, competent for, like, around, like, 150, right? So it's like, you know, you can get good results with what this industry considers a consumer product. Because you gotta understand, like, these things used to cost, like, tens of thousands of dollars, right? Like, maybe, I think one of them cost, like, $56,000 or something like that. So it's like, you know, a great, like, something at a high quality, or something that gives you a high quality result at like $300, that's an incredible price drop compared to what it used to be. But, you know, there's genuine safety concerns for it, and I'm just thinking, like, man, how difficult would it be? Like, I'm almost thinking, because I have these insane ideas, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how difficult would it be to spoof a business and get a CO cast, or CO foam, CO cast, whatever it's called, and then learn how to make molds in CO foam? Like, how difficult would that be? Like, would that effort, would that technical skill and knowledge be easier to obtain than the scientific skill and knowledge in order to safely set up a, like, containment, safe area for 3D printing? To where, like, I know that it's safe. And also, because, like, you know, I would probably want, like, I don't know, like, obviously the CO thing would be way harder, but I don't know, there's a part of me that's like, oh, but the CO thing could be fun, though. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video now. Stay safe out there, have a good one, bye.